Arrange two sets of live stitches so that when you align them with the wrong side of the fabric facing in, both tips of the needles are at the right hand side of the fabric. Then take an empty needle in the same or a smaller size in your right hand. Now we are ready to join these two sets of stitches with a lovely seam that is a great alternative to Kitchener stitch. It is a two-step process. In the first step, we're gonna slip these stitches, alternating them to this needle. In most cases, one of the sets of stitches will have a tail hanging at the right side. So we start with a stitch that is attached to that tail. We insert the tip of the right needle from right to left into that stitch, like this. See, this stitch is attached to the yarn tail, so I go in there. And then pull that stitch off the needle. And then we insert the same right needle from right to left again into the stitch on the other needle, in the first stitch on the other needle. In my case, it's going to be the needle at the back. And we pull that stitch off that needle. And then we do it again. We slip one stitch from one needle and one stitch from the other needle. And you can hold needles like this, or you can hold them from the top so that you could control stitches better. So we go one stitch here, one stitch there, always going right to left into the stitch, like this. And we do it until both needles that we are holding in our left hand right now are empty. This is the first step of the process. Now we turn the work and take one of those empty needles in the right hand. In the second step, we're going to close the stitches by passing one stitch over the other. We start by slipping the first two stitches from the tip of the left needle in onto the right needle, and we do it purlwise, again going into these stitches from right to left. You can go into both stitches in one shot and just slip them like this, or you can slip them one by one. It doesn't really matter. And then we insert the tip of the left needle from left to right into the second stitch on the right needle and pass it over the first stitch and off the needles like this. And then we slip the next stitch from the left needle to the right needle. Again, purlwise, we insert the tip of the right needle from right to left and pass this stitch over again. And we keep going. Slip one stitch, pass one stitch over and off the needles. Slip the next stitch, pass it over and off. Next stitch, over and off. And to make it easier for you to see how the process looks, I used swatches in two different colors. So you can see that we alternate stitches and slip one over the other, forming a lovely braid that looks quite neat. So we keep going, slipping and passing off, over and off, until we get to the end and we have just one stitch left on the right needle. And because we started slipping stitches from the stitch that is attached to the yarn tail, remember? Now the yarn tail is attached to our last stitch, and it is very convenient to secure the seam by passing this tail through the last stitch and pulling tight to secure. Here we go. This is a beautiful seam that is flat. See, it doesn't have any bulk at all, and it is quite stretchy, but it doesn't stretch out of shape. It looks very neat on the right side, especially if we work with two colors, but even in a solid color, it will look like a nice braid that sits on your shoulder seam, for example, or any other place where you need to join two sets of open stitches. And it looks very nice, almost invisible on the wrong side of the work as well. And we did it without using any special tools like a crochet hook or a wool needle. Just knitting needles and 2 simple steps. If you find this tutorial helpful, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to be notified every time I publish a new video. Happy knitting, my friend. I'll talk to you in the next tutorial.